Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Midwest F1 League. Here we are, the fourth round of this 11th season, and it takes place at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Over here today in the United Arab Emirates, down in Division 3 once again. The fourth round of the 11th season. By the way, how the hell did we get 11 seasons of this? I joined in Season 2. That feels like forever ago. It's been great fun, and hopefully we get even more. We've got ourselves a relatively full grid on track here tonight in Division 3. Feels like it's been quite a while since I've been down here in Division 3. I do believe that it's only be the second time this season that I'm actually... Let's hear some feeling. You got a fullish grid, homie? I'm tracking it for him this season. I tell you what, very excited to be back here in Division 3. I've missed a lot, it seems. We had a great first round in Brazil that I was along with in Imola. I believe I was in Division 2. Las Vegas, back on the 16th of November. I was over in Division 1 for that round, and it was a very good round it was. Hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving. Well, at least if you're an American, I hope you had a Thanksgiving. Everyone else, I hope you had a good week off. But here we are then, well, I was going to say Saudi Arabia, that's just not even true. We got 19 drivers on the grid tonight, which is great. Additionally to that, there are some drivers here who I just simply have no idea who they are. Altered Fiber I've never seen before. Fire Up Flow I've never seen before. Ayahuasca I've never seen before. That's gonna give me trouble, that one. The Plums, I've never seen that one before either. I tell you what, we got a lot of drivers on the grid here tonight, and what a brilliant track this is. Hope everybody... Well, it's gonna be tricky, isn't it? Because now the real-life F1 season's over. But here we are, in Abu Dhabi, for a track that's, it's difficult, really, because I think this is a great track. Does it belong at the end of the season? That is the main question that I think has been on a lot of people's minds. Some people will argue yes, others will argue no. What is absolutely certain is the track changes that have been made have been so helpful to the racing at this circuit, that this is a proper racing track now. Once again, in case you are living under a rock, those changes happen to be... if you remember, obviously, the chicane, where turn 9 is now that kind of hairpin corner that Peter DRH, our first driver on track, he's kind of getting towards that now. Now it's a banked left-handed corner. Before it was a couple of, like, off-kilter, off-camber chicanes that kind of went up in that way, and then they kind of swooped back over here. And then this section of the track here, Sector 3, has been, I think... I don't know if it's been widened necessarily, or just kind of made to flow just a little bit more, because it kind of feels that way. And then actually the hairpin at turn 5. Well, we all remember how bad the old one was here, but Peter DRH is going to be our first driver out on a timed lap here. Let's go along with him. Looks like he's going to get quite a good run out of that final corner, and here he goes across the line, and your lap has started. One of only, I believe, 3 circuits on the current calendar for, now that Vegas is come into play, without a DRS section on the pit straight. First corner, this is the tricky one here, turns 2 and 3. The camber does kind of get away from you, and on old or cold tires, the car will definitely get away from you on the back end. We saw in that Carlos Sainz had the incident, I believe, in the second practice session in real life here last weekend, so it's definitely possible. Peter DRH now, DRS zone all the way down in towards turn 6. Nice little left and then back right again after this. You don't necessarily get the moves into this chicane here, but it is the setup for the next section of DRS that you will get, and that's where really things start to come into play here. Let's see what kind of top speeds Peter's going to be hitting here in his Alfa Romeo. He's already, what is this about? Let's see what he is in the braking zone. About an even 200 by the time he steps on the brake pedal and into turn 9, the banked left-hand corner. Got to beware of track limits on the exit. Those curbs, not only can you exceed track limits there, but you can also really go for a spin on those curbs. And then through this section under the hotel bridge into the Latifi corner, as I call it, because, well, I'm sure you could guess why. Finally then turns 15 and 16. It's actually quite a difficult stretch, a couple of corners this, as well as the entry to the pit lane is onto the inside of that corner. It is slightly difficult to really get right, especially if you want to pit and you're on the outside. You really got to slow down. Altered Fiber, Peter's Alfa Romeo teammate, has just gone provisional pole at the moment. He actually has about, what is that, 0.8 of a second over dead text message for that second spot. And oh, by the way, this is my first cast witnessing he who is to be known as Altered Fiber, so that is a very good lap from him. Next across the line, I believe it's going to be a Williams. Could it be Freeman starting one? After that, a Ferrari of Jordi. Just gone P3. And very, very close then to dead text message. Less than 2/100ths of a second behind that Alpine. Texas Tornado then goes second place, 123.726. Less than 2/100ths behind Provisional Pole. That is a very good lap attempt then from the Alpine of Texas Tornado. And I tell you what, this is one of those drivers that's perennial favorites to win races here. Every time you can expect to see him somewhere towards the top end of the grid. Unfortunately, the Plums has invalidated that attempt. He's going to be on his way in. The Mercedes of Soy Loco is going to be coming through the final stages of the lap now. He's on the medium tires, as Soy Loco will often do. One of those drivers, time and time again, that we see, goes onto the off compound, tries to kind of use this as more of a practice session than entirely a qualifying session. He goes P8. Naturally, he's going to be a bit slow. No battery being used either for the Mercedes. Is just kind of getting the grips with the car. That's something that I think more drivers should probably do, because come race time, Soy Loco always finds himself in good standing. So it's definitely something to look out for here. It looks like his teammate of Anto has only gone P9. He'll have to do better than that. Fire Up Flow is going to be on his way in. It looks like the Ferrari of Fireball has just gone P6, about a flat second off the pace. Meanwhile, the McLaren of Los Manigos has gone third not long ago. He's within a tenth, and I say that. Ayahuasca has just gone Provisional Pole, 122.789. That's a clear second. Just about 9.5 tenths past Altered Fiber. And I tell you what, that puts nearly 2 seconds between P1 and P5. That is a massive lap then from Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca. Again. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, I said this before the other day. Well, not the other day, but in a different league. If I say your name wrong, please correct me. I take a lot of pride in my craft, and I want to get better at it. So if you're a driver like Ayahuasca, and I'm saying it wrong, please correct me, because quite honestly, I don't know how to say it, and I'm doing as best as I can. So that'll be that. We do have, I believe, the Red Bull of P. Gonzalez making his way down one of the two back straights now. I would say he's almost taken that chicane a little bit slower than I would have liked to have seen. It's not bad, but it did look slightly... like, tentative isn't even quite the word. I think just simply off the pace was that chicane there from Gonzalez. Through turn 9 he goes. We have 11 minutes left in the session. We got the Red Bull of... it's his teammate of Gab is about to start a timed lap here. We got the Williams of Freeman on his way in. His teammate of Fuse Rogue, by the way, who won the first week of the season over in Brazil, in what was a very interesting race, to say the least, as far as I remember. And then we do have the McLaren of Jaw, who won in Imola. And I'm going to be honest with you, according to my look at the Division 3 schedule, the winner for Vegas, it's just not there. I don't know what's on with that, but according to my list, nobody won Vegas. That's weird. Let's see what the does the results channel have anything here. Results from Season 10, Round 315. It was... who the hell has got any Weeb? Again, there's so many people suddenly making existence here in Division 3. I've seen very little of these people on track. Gab has gone Purple Sector 2 at the moment, as he would do, being that he hasn't put one together yet. In front of him, we've got the Alpine of, I believe it's going to be either of them. They're both on outlaps here. In fact, one in front, that being Dead Text Message, and one behind of Texas Tornado. And it looks like P. Gonzalez has invalidated there, although he has just finished a timed lap. He's at least within the top 7 at the moment. Gab has gone P2, 123.563, moves within 0.8 of a second of Ayahuasca. That's, well, not bad at the moment, but I tell you what, for someone who we just blatantly have no idea who he is, he's doing a damn good job at the moment. He's Purple Sector 2, yet again. Let's go along with him. Oh, but he's gone wide there. And that was about as close to invalidating a track attempt, a lap attempt, as you could probably get. That one was very close indeed. Oh, yeah. Through Latifi corner he goes, turn 15 and 16. What does he have here? Well, calm as you like. 122.717. That puts about an additional 10th back to Gab. The Plums has actually gone second in his house, 123.533. Outqualifies Gab at the moment by 3/100ths. Very closely contested here. I will say, Ayahuasca has a big gap over the rest of the grid, but from P2 all the way down to about P10, it does seem as if the grid is decently close together. What I will say, though, is we got a queue of drivers coming out here. We've got, well, that is the Haas of the Plums, who's just finished a lap, but he's got several drivers behind him. I'm wondering if traffic is becoming a little bit of a problem here, as we do see. Who is that? That's John, the intermediates for some reason out on track. Coming through that corner is his teammate at Mandigos. This is interesting here from the two Aston Martin drivers. Valentine on the outlap here. Well, I thought we were seeing a tow. Maybe that's what's happened. Maybe we've just missed it. Valentine could have been ahead of his teammate of Fire Up Flow then, and had given him the tow. He is, in fact, 5.6 tenths better through Sector 2 at the moment. That'll put him roughly P8, I would say. 7.5 minutes to go. Next up around the line is the AlphaTauri of Ayahuasca, although he's coming into the pits. Fire Up Flow to the line here. Wow, P5, 123.696 improves by nearly a second and a half. Moves up into that 6th spot. At the moment has less than 2/100ths over Altered Fiber. I tell you what, Valentine, I'm thinking, gave him quite the tow there throughout that lap, and he's done quite well. And now Valentine out on track here. Currently resides 2 seconds off the pace. If he can even shave about 0.5 of a second off his lap time, he'll put him even closer to the top 10. Let's see if he can do just that in towards the turn 5 hairpin now. He's about just under a 10th faster at the moment. He's gone purple sector 1, down the first of 2 back straights, down in towards turn 6. And look at this, the tow working perfectly here for the Aston Martin team. We just had Fire Up Flow. Well, that was brilliantly worked then. Valentine got to put in a good lap now, because this is brilliant teamwork then from the Aston Martins, and I hate to say it, Valentine has gone slightly wide, I would think, coming out of the back end of that chicane at turn 7. DRS activated now. He peaked at about 200 miles an hour on the shorter of the 2 back straights, and he peaked at about 202 there, and is currently 0.3 of a second faster through that 2nd sector. I would say Valentine at the moment seems like he has a car geared more towards the high downforce than the straight line speed. Although I will say 202 miles an hour is one of the quicker top speeds we've seen so far, at least that I've paid attention to. At the moment, it has to be said, Valentine looking like he's got a great lap here. Out of the final corner, across the line he goes. It's P10 for Valentine, 124 flat, improves by 7.5 tenths. And I tell you what, he's in the top 10 now, and he's not all that far away from making up even more ground. Another couple of tenths. He may even find himself in the top 5 as he currently resides, about 1.3 seconds off the pace of our provisional pole sitter of Ayahuasca in the AlphaTauri. Behind him, Fuse Rogue has gone within half a second, goes currently 2nd place at the moment. Soy Loco, who we were talking about earlier, now currently sits 3rd after taking some time on the mediums to get used to the car. Once again, the benefits of that, I think, are massive, and it definitely helps him a lot. The Haas of Plums is making his way on an outlap now. It'll be interesting to see what he has. I think coming to the line now, we've got one of the Alfa Romeos. It's going to be Altered Fiber starting one. Let's actually go along with Fiber here. Didn't really get a chance to see his first time attempt, and I tell you what, he put in a great one it was. So let's go along with him now as he makes his way into the first corner. Or maybe a little snap of oversteer coming off the exit, but not bad otherwise. About full throttle through that 2nd and 3rd corner. Very nicely done. Improves by about 9/100ths as he makes his way into the turn 5 hairpin. Acceleration looks good. DRS is going to be activated here. Let's see what his top speed is, at least in this straight. They'll get about 204 into the braking zone. That is a very good top speed to have, as Fiber makes his way through the chicane, and I would say actually does it quite nicely. That's one of the better goes through that chicane we've seen so far. Got just under 4 minutes remaining now as Altered Fiber makes his way in towards turn 9. He's currently quicker by 0.3 of a second. This will put him roughly P3 if he's able to hold on to it. Meanwhile, Texas Tornado has gone P3, now resides within half a second of Ayahuasca for provisional pole. I don't think we're going to see many more timed attempts. I don't think he's got enough time to come back in. Oh, I tell you what, Fiber's gone wide then through the Latifi corner. He's kept it off the wall, but I think that one could have been better. Through the final corner now, and across the line it'll be 1:23.598. I believe he has lost time, improves by about 1/10, up to P7. But with 3 minutes to go, he does not have a lot of time left to get that car back in, refueled and new tires. For another attempt. That one may just be one of his final of the session. We do have the Red Bull of Gab on an outlap. Our provisional pole sitter of Ayahuasca is on an outlap now as he makes his way into the Sector 2 chicane. Next across the line, looks like it's going to be one of the McLarens. It's going to be Jaw, who to this point has yet to put together a timed lap, and into the pits he goes. As it turns out, it doesn't look like he was happy with that one, and he's going to find the pit lane here. Behind him is the Haas of, it's going to be the Plums, making his way. He has invalidated. He is starting another one here. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be one to hold on to. It does look as if his battery is not in recharge mode, so Plums might be going for one here. Alfa Romeo of Peter DRH to the line here, improves by maybe 1/10.5 then, not enough to improve his positioning, but either way, not a bad effort. Fireball to the line here, well, I tell you what, Fireball has gone to P12, has improved by about 0.6 of a second, not bad. The Red Bull next up of, it's not Gonzalez, it is Gab, who was starting his timed lap here. Let's go along with him, as he now makes his way up the hill through turns 2 and 3. Minute 45 remaining here. AlphaTauri of Ayahuasca making his way through this first sector as well. Fuse Rogue on his outlap. I believe he's making his way into Sector 3 at the moment. Soy Loco is going to be starting one here in just a second. Wrong Mercedes, sorry. Well, actually, yeah, close enough. Into the chicane as Gab peaks at about 203 miles an hour into the braking zone. Heavy over the initial curb. That may hurt his time. DRS activated. Look how close he takes it to the inside wall. Really looking for the shortest possible route around the track. He's going to lose straight line speed on that end. Peaks at 198 by the time he brakes. I believe he has improved. 1 minute to go now. Behind him, the Ferrari of, I want to say Fireball is starting one. Ahead of him, Jordi is about to start one. Well, he's about to... Yeah, I don't even know. Anyways, Gab through the final couple of corners now. Looks to be a good lap. This is his final attempt. Across the line is going to be Gab. It's a good lap, but not enough to improve. In fact, he's slower by about 1/10 of a second. Not what he needed. Ayahuasca only about 1/10.5 faster through that through the second sector, but across the line he goes. It's 1:22.365. Improves by about 3.5 Not bad at all. Let's see if anyone's able to improve. Mandigos is starting one now. That's going to be important there. Peter DRH has invalidated his final attempt. The Alfa Romeo of Altered Fibers on his way in. The McLaren of Jaw is about to start one here. Mandigos currently resides P8. He'll be looking to improve. Fuse Rogue is going to be coming through in towards the turn 9 now. He's about 1/10.5 quicker throughout the second sector. Texas Tornado settles for 3rd at the moment. Soy Loco for 4th. Altered Fiber for 7th. Fireball for 12th. Gonzalez 14th. Peter 15th. Enzo 17th. That's a Williams off at the Latifi corner. That being Freeman. As Fuse Rogue making it through the final corner now. Looks like a good lap. What does he have? And he does improve by 4.5 is about 1/3 of a second off the pace. Not a bad lap at all for Fuse Rogue. That is definitely, I think, perhaps allowed him to knock on the door of Ayahuasca. Fire Up Flow has gone 1:23.277, improves to P4. Next around the line will be one of the Red Bull drivers. It's got to be that of Gab, and he's on his way in. Next up is the Ferrari of Jordi, making his way to the line now. Looks an okay lap. He will improve to P9, 1:23.654. Behind him, Los Mandigos, the last driver to get a shot at pole. To the line he goes. It's P4 for Mandigos, 1:23.231, improves by 4.5 tenths, and he will find himself now onto the second row, but it is Ayahuasca P1 in the AlphaTauri. Fuse Rogue has gave it one hell of an effort, finishes within a third of a second, but then it really is quite the gap. Well, I say that, Jaw's actually just gone P3, he's outqualified his teammate. He's outqualified both his teammate and Texas Tornado. So good effort then from Jaw, the driver who I believe won Imola. Yeah, good guess. But the AlphaTauri of Ayahuasca, pole position. So here's your starting grid then for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Ayahuasca on pole by about a third of a second over Fuse Rogue. Jaw at the death goes third. Texas Tornado fourth. Manigos fifth. Fire Up Flow sixth. Soy Loco seventh. Plums eighth. Gab ninth. Altered Fiber 10th. Jordi 11th. 12th is Valentine. 13th Fireball. 14th Dead Text Message. 15th Gonzalez, 16th Peter DRH, 17th is Freeman, 18th Anto, and unfortunately for Moose, did not get the opportunity to finish a timed lap. So, early indication, I think if you're outside the top 5, you may just slightly be lacking on pace. In fact, Fire Up Flow in P6 is the only driver, is only one of 6 drivers within a second of Ayahuasca's pole time. Everyone else may have work to do in the session. We're not entirely sure who Ayahuasca is, but what we do know, he's right quick at the moment. Let's see if that translates to the race. Well, it is naturally a clear day, or a clear evening here in Abu Dhabi. I would hope it would be. I do recall, I think there was a time in some sort of endurance series where they actually had to call the race because of manufactured clouds that had actually drenched the circuit. I forget what it was necessarily. I think it was, I can't remember if it was here or Qatar that did that, but it's a very interesting story, that one. Let me look that up. I'm curious. So back in 2020, the Dubai 24 was red flagged due to heavy rain. Who would have thought that? Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't really know, but what I do know is we are here in Abu Dhabi for the 4th round of the season. Formation lap hopefully will be underway shortly. I would heavily expect the mediums and hards to be the 2 tires on display as you typically find. $19 drivers on the grid tonight for what is hoping to be a very successful and very entertaining Division 3 Grand Prix. It's felt like it's been a while since we've been here in Abu Dhabi. It does feel like we haven't raced in this track in quite a while. In fact, the last time we did, seriously, 3 seasons ago? The last time, holy mackerel, it's been over a year since we've actually visited this track on a Thursday League schedule. The last time we raced here was Season 8, November 17th, 2022. The race was won by Scuba Steve. It was the 2nd round of the season. Wow, you learn something new every day. What we do know. Midwest F1 brought to you by Epos Audio. If you're wondering what happened to the other sponsor, well, there's not much I can say other than Midwest may have its wings. What we do know is this. Ayahuasca on his way. He has chosen the hards. That kind of surprises me at the moment. The hard tire being what appears to be more or less the minority amongst the choices here. As it looks as if many drivers have accounted for the early safety car, perhaps. Ayahuasca, Texas Tornado, Plums, and Moose are the 4 drivers who have chosen the hards. As Valentine has left the session, and was he the host? That may not be good. Anyways, Ayahuasca, I don't know how to pronounce it. Either way, I'm going to pronounce it poorly until I get it right. Ayahuasca's on his way. Had a very dominant qualifying session. That part was definitely true, and it'll be interesting to see if he can keep this lead off the start. There's your possible race strategy, lap 14 to 19, according to the game. Not always correct, but, you know, it's worth looking at. That part's for sure. I believe Fuse Rogue will have the preferred starting grid spot into the first corner. If he's on that inside of the first corner and he gets away well, he will seriously challenge the AlphaTauri ahead. I'm just wondering how difficult it's going to be for those hard tires to get off the line well enough. Jaw taking up third, Texas Tornado fourth. Finds himself in a McLaren sandwich with Manigos in fifth. I tell you what, Manigos might be looking for a good result here. I think he's definitely got the ability to have one. And it does look as if Ayahuasca's going to line up on the right side of the grid. With Fuse Rogue down to his inside on the better... What in the hell? Jaw's gone around on the starting line. Is he really going to find the grid box? Yes, he will, and look at the angle he's put himself at. Look at that! That is the McLaren of Jaw on the second row there. Look how far he's angled in. He's done a whole spin into the grid box. What in the hell? Altered Fiber hasn't found the line correctly. He's been set back a little bit. Lights are going to be coming on here in Abu Dhabi for the 4th time this season. Lights turning on 3, 4, and eventually 5. And Division what in the hell has happened here? The lights have gone out. Fuse Rogue... What? Something tells me something's gone dreadfully wrong here, as Ayahuasca's already lost the lead of the Grand Prix. He's down to second, Jaw up the inside for third. Was he really sleeping that much on the line, as we may have a yellow flag at the back? 2 Ferraris side by side there. Jaw's taking the second spot. Alpine of Texas Tornado looking for it around the right side. Soy Loco getting around Manigos down to the inside. Aston Martin down to the inside. Then Freeman's got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place. That is happening next to Valentine there for P12, as it looks like now. Jaw doing his best to try and fend off the drivers behind. Fuse Rogue is at a massive advantage. Texas Tornado down to the inside, side by side with Ayahuasca for that third spot, and Texas Tornado will take the position, and now Soy Loco down to the inside, well, more or less the outside, really, as he's trying to find his way around the AlphaTauri now. Plums really looking for it here, as he's got Altered Fiber behind him. Manigos trying it around the outside of the Mercedes of Soy Loco. Does he get it? No, he's going to switch back down to the inside, and he's not quite got the track room to make it happen. Meanwhile, Jaw has rightfully taken second place here. Again, I'm not really sure what's happened on the start because of how quickly Fuse Rogue got away and how slowly everybody else seemed to have gotten away. Well, what we do know is Fuse Rogue has the lead of the Grand Prix. Jaw second. Texas Tornado looks to have third. Oh, but the McLaren Jaw's he's had a bit of a slide, and he'll go off to the inside of the circuit. He'll regain control, but he loses 2 spots then. 1 to Tornado, and then to Ayahuasca, and now he'll lose a third to Soy Loco on his inside as they make their way up the hill through turns 2 and 3. Soy Loco, he's going to have to switch back to the outside. Does he do it? Yes, he does. Does he have the ability to outbreak him here? He's going to tries it round the outside through 5. He's going to have to switch back down to the inside now as they make their way down the first of 2 back straights, and it looks like he's going to do just that, but they're wheel to wheel, and they've made contact at least once or twice. Contact again. As they went into the chicane, Soy Loco backed out of it as behind. Manigos trying to put the pressure on the Mercedes here. It's a 3.5-second advantage for Fuse Rogue over Texas Tornado. There's Manigos down to the inside. The McLaren of Jaw giving the toe to his teammate. Contact there between the McLaren and the Mercedes as they make their way into turn 9. Soy Loco round the outside. He's just not going to have the grip on the outside line. And, well, I tell you what, he's giving it a good fight. That part's for true. Oh, contact made there. Soy Loco somehow holds on, but the McLaren of Manigos still has position. This is great racing. Into the Latifi corner they go, and finally, Manigos has the spot. Oh, but not quite, as Soy Loco is struck back then and will take the spot. Well, that was a side-by-side battle throughout the entirety of the third sector. We have a yellow flag and a safety car as the Red Bull of P. Gonzalez has lost it in the Latifi corner to the inside. Yikes, not good there. Drivers on their way in, Peter DRH being one of them, and I think the hard tires are going to be going on for the Alfa Romeo here as we are starting the third lap of the Grand Prix. Well, it's no front wing change, but the hard's definitely going on. And any advantage that Fuse Rogue had is going to be all for naught here, as the grid's going to get bunched up. Texas Tornado up 2, Ayahuasca down 2, Soy Loco up 2, and it looks like a lot of the grid has relatively stayed the same. Moose is up 4. He currently belongs to Driver of the Day at the moment. Oh, I'm afraid I have a cold coming on. If I continue coughing, I apologize. So, I think it's a bit early for anybody on those mediums to pit for the hards here. I doubt Fuse Rogue is going to make that commitment. I'd be a little surprised if he did, to be right honest. But let's find out what he decides to do here. And it looks as if he's going to stay out. Yes, he does. Texas Tornado, being that he started on the hards, he'll do the same. Ayahuasca with the same for him. Jaw is on his way in. That's a little bold to me. We saw Jaw have the oversteer coming off that final corner on the second, coming to the second lap, and he was on the medium tire. So, bit interesting that he's going to the hards with the lower grip. We'll have to wait and see. He may struggle as his teammate of Manigos comes in. Naturally, they were going to lose spots anyways. They decide to do the double stack, and the hard tires go on for Manigos, and that's only 2 drivers again deciding to pit. Peter pit last time round. Dead text message I would doubt would come in here. He's not missing any front wing, and Anto is trying to catch up here, so they'll both stay out. Safety car on track. I'll step aside until then. I'm sorry, quick interruption here. Moose has spun it round on the safety car, and he's lost several positions here. I'm not rightly sure what is going on with that, but he now finds himself at the back. Very odd. What's even more odd is this. Fuse Rogue saying he left the... his AI took over at the race start, and there was actually a driver, I believe it was Ayahuasca saying in the Discord that it looked as if he actually jump-started the race. Either way, he hasn't been penalized for it, and I'm not sure what the case is for that, but while the race continues, Fuse Rogue leads the Grand Prix with the safety car on its way in at the end of this lap. It'll begin the 6th lap of the Grand Prix. Only a couple drivers came in that time, Jaw all the way back to P17 of Anto. So 5 drivers. 2 of which have gone on to the mediums, 3 of the others have gone on to the hards, everybody else has stayed out, which arguably was going to happen, you know, considering how soon the... again, it was probably too early for the stop, but some drivers have taken that choice. It'll be interesting to see if Jaw can strike back, and it'll be really interesting to see if Ayahuasca can strike back here, as now it looks like Fuse Rogue is going to try to stomp the loud pedal here. And we're going to be back to green flag racing as we cross the stripe for the 6th lap of the Grand Prix. Ayahuasca really under pursuit of Texas Tornado. We have a yellow flag at the back. Whatever it was, it sorted itself out, but already Fuse Rogue up to an 8.5 lead here as they make their way up the hill through turns 2 and 3. Looks like everybody's going to be calm and collected here off the safety car restart, except for maybe Soy Loco. Does he have a look? No. But who will have a look is Jorday, as he gets around Altered Fiber, as Fiber then tries to strike back down the inside. Valentine's going to try to go onto the inside, and he will get past the Alfa Romeo of Altered Fiber. Gutsy move then from Valentine, but he saw the opportunity and took it. Behind them, the McLarens, I believe, of Jaw getting past Freeman there as they make their way towards the chicane. Does Jaw have a good one? Whoa! Mandigos got way out of shape there. Did he perhaps get into contact with another driver? It could have been, as we have several cars. There's a bit of a mix-up here going through the chicane as Peter goes all the way back down to P18. Mandigos loses a couple spots. And, well, I tell you what, that was slightly a conundrum there. Thankfully, everybody got away okay. But now, the battle currently for that second spot, as Ayahuasca within 2.5 tenths of Texas Tornado, and Soy Loco getting his head in this battle as well. Behind them, Fire Up Flow doing his best, but it looks as if Dead Text Message has gone around exiting turn 9. Thankfully, there's not much there to hit, but that'll certainly be detrimental to his Grand Prix. Looks as if we've got Anso and Mandigos side by side going through Latifi corner. Yes, it is. Oh, but it looks like Ultra Fiber has spun it to the inside of coming off of turn 15. He'll have to get the car back up to grips here, and he kind of, I would not necessarily call that an unsafe rejoin, but it did get quite close, didn't it? As Anso and Ultra Fiber side by side here in the first corner. Anso's not going to get the spot that time as we have Mandigos and Peter DRH on their way in, as here's Ayahuasca trying to find the inside of Texas Tornado. Texas is in a bad spot as Anso's retired. Safety car on track. Well, where he's done that, he's done that exiting turn 2 just before going up the hill. And the safety car on track, less than a lap and a half after the previous one came in. Let's go along with Mandigos here, as we can maybe try to see where Anto's gone off. I'm assuming it's right around there. Now, that's where Carlos Sainz had his off in the real-life session. And I think what he's done, he's just hit the bump going through that combination of corners, and the back end of the car has gotten away from him, and Anto does not finish the session. So a whole 2 laps later, what changes? Do people decide to pit now? Fuse Rogue, once again, has to make that decision for assumingly the rest of the grid. It's very tricky to be the leader on the safety car like this because you are the guinea pig for everyone else. And Fuse Rogue does decide to come in. Texas Tornado at the last second also. Ayahuasca stays out. Naturally, he has stayed. He had started on the hard tires. Soy Loco goes in, but also picks up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Wonder what that's about. Fuse Rogue on his way in. Hard tires going on for him. Texas Tornado, it's mediums going on for him. Soy Loco, I believe, also. Yeah, hard tires for Soy Loco. Fire Up Flow, hard tires. Freeman in for the hards here. Double stack for the Williams team. I believe Fireball has gone to hards as well. So Texas Tornado, the only driver in that queue that have gone for the medium tires, aside from Mandigos, who I think pit at the end of the last safety car, so that's why his tires look relatively fresh. That and Peter DRH on softs. As, dead text message, he has gone off. This is coming out of the Latifi corner under safety car. As you can see there at the bottom right hand of your screen, he was off track exiting 14 under the safety car. That is wildly odd, that one. Fuse Rogue has been demoted down to P6, and he is now, I don't want to say on the wrong end of the strategy. He's tried the overcut, being that they had the safety car, but that now places Jaw ahead of him. Jaw, who had pit for the hard tires, the last safety car. Interesting decisions to be made here. Safety car on track, and, well, we'll stick around here for a second to see. Oh, as Moose, I think, has gone off again. What in the hell has happened? Moose is losing spots. Fire Up, or the Aston Martin of Valentine looked like he almost could have lost a spot there. I'm not really sure, but safety car looks as if it's going to stay out another lap. It does. Ayahuasca leads the charge. I'll step aside again. Safety car has decided to come in at the end of this lap. We've had a slight happening here. Plums and Jorday, also Texas Tornado and Fuse Rogue now swapping positions, probably just trying to stack up here behind the safety car, although Fuse Rogue has lost more spots than I remember. As Peter DRH joins back, we've had the joining and a disconnection there and rejoin of Peter DRH. Valentine, a 5-second penalty for collision with Fireball. That's because it's under the safety car. Now, Ayahuasca has led the grid rather than charge here. Look how much Plums is backing up the grid. This is really odd here. Why is Plums backed up this much? Well, Ayahuasca will lead the grid back to green here. Oh, I'll drop my phone. As he rightfully should. My question is, why is Plums backed up the grid this much? That is now 8.5 seconds as the safety car on track again, as Ayahuasca retires? What in the hell has happened here? Okay, I am dreadfully confused now. Are we about to have a lobby restart? Is that what's happening? Because Ayahuasca is... I'm sorry, I'm just trying to monitor the Discord here because it looks as if the lobby may be glitched according to Texas Tornado. He's pinged Peter. Ayahuasca isn't happy with someone. Not rightly sure who. As Fuse Rogue is now up to the 3rd spot somehow. Well, I don't really know what's happened there. Fuse Rogue looks as if he has left the session. That's why he's... Well, I don't want to say lost positions, because he gained some. Jaw getting around Moose. Moose has actually gone to the inside, loses 2 spots then. Peter and Soy Loco were side by side there at turn 9, although it looks as if something happened with Soy Loco as he loses some ground. Texas Tornado saying someone has just ran him into the wall. Hang on, he's pinging me. Well, what we do know is this. Gab has the lead of the Grand Prix. Plums in 2nd after wildly backing up the grid. Sorry, just momentarily I've got to re-invite Fuse Rogue here. Apologies. Well, Soy Loco's picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. DRS enabled here. Alright, well, I'm going to ignore the Discord in a minute because that's not helping me try to realize what's happening here. What we do know is Gab is now within 0.3 of a second on Plums is within 0.3 here of Gab for the lead of the Grand Prix. This is going in towards turn 6 and 7, the chicane. Claiming that Soy Loco ran him into the wall, and that's why Soy Loco currently finds himself in the back. Fuse Rogue is rejoined. Jorday's overtaken his teammate down to the inside. Gab is still ahead of Plums in towards turn 9. two Ferraris side by side here as they make their way towards the ninth corner. Jaw's going to try to look for it. Great battle here between the Scuderia and that beautiful Vegas livery that's attached to that car. As Plums is now within 0.2 of a second on Gab here. He's done that going through the Latifi corner. That's brilliantly done from Plums. And he will now lead them on towards the 13th lap of the Grand Prix here. Fuse Rogue, P3 at the moment. He's had some trouble with connecting and disconnecting so far today. Jordi P5 under pressure here from Jaw, which you'd have to believe after the battling there from the Ferraris probably didn't help them. It's all within a couple of tenths of Jordi here. Let's see if he's able to get the spot. Meanwhile, Plums has actually put about 2 seconds over Gab. As down to the inside is Jaw. He's looking for the spot, and it looks like, yes, he will get it. Well, for the time being, he's not quite got it yet. Slightly rare overtake into the turn 6 chicane. That doesn't happen too often. Jordi gets him back. Perhaps contact happening there. Tough to tell, but for the time being, Gab has actually fallen more positions now. He has now lost one to Fuse Rogue. That's slightly odd. It must have been a mistake there from the Red Bull, as there was slightly I don't want to say an unwarranted mistake, but there's really nothing to say why that would have happened. Jordi under pressure here from Jaw. Behind him, Moose trying to pressure McLaren and the Ferrari ahead, but at the time being, he's not got the DRS yet to do so. Fireball's picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. That puts him at 8 seconds. Soy Loco at 6, Freeman at 3 as well. For the time being, Altered Fiber trying to find this way into the battle as well. Peter DRH taking the time to interesting situations here. Texas Tornado calling for a lobby restart after apparent glitching. Apparently made Soy Loco run him into the wall. Jaw's gone around the outside of Jordi into turn 5. Moose in position now to try to make a move on the Ferrari. The Alfa Romeo of Altered Fiber on this as well. Peter DRH texting and driving, or well, discording and driving, has actually kind of made up some time here. In towards the turn 6 chicane they go. Nice little 4-car train here, all battling for the 5th spot. As it looks like Mandigo's getting around Valentine. Well, they're actually side by side. Look at the bouncing happening on that Aston Martin as he's down to the inside of the track. Very reminiscent of the porpoising we used to see in 2022. Oh, that's definite contact! My goodness me, Valentine has tried to hang it up the side, and now look at Mandigo's almost driving into the side of Valentine there. That was a load of contact between those two. Almost a massive accident taking them both out. It looks like Altered Fiber. Definitely not within 0.3 of Gab here. Moose trying his best to stay within reach of Jordi as they move through turn 16. Peter is now within 0.9 of a second on these two. It's currently about a 1.5 seconds as we had a yellow flag there briefly. Fireball's on his way in. Moose, it looks like, has maybe just lost the car as he's now slow. Is he a puncture or something? Why is he so slow on track here? It's one of the telemetry. I'm not rightly sure what the hell? What the hell happened there with Moose? What is... I do not know. My controller seems to have lost button function. No, it's back now. That was slightly odd. Battle for the lead now within a second. Tell you what, Fuse Rogue really using the battery here, trying to get past the Plums. Plums has actually done well to put some gap behind the Williams, although he's got a lot of battery saved up halfway through the Grand Prix now, and a very interesting Grand Prix it's been. Interesting is the polite way to call it. as we've had 5 DNFs here, only some of which made sense. Fuse Rogue trying to look forward on Plums now. He's not got the space into turn 5. Perhaps will he have it? Well, he's going to try down the inside. It's going to be side by side as they go down the DRS straight here. Fuse Rogue has it. He's got the battery. He's got the rear wing. Plums gets back in line. He's not within position to re-overtake him. He has a lot of battery saved. He's going to have to use it, though, as Freeman is retired. And the safety car is on track. Has he done that on the pit straight? Yes. That would be why the safety car is on track. As you can see from Soy Loco's point of view, that car of Freeman was off on the pit straight before getting into turn 1. There wasn't any runoff for that car to be in. That is why the safety car is out on track, and this would be the time, I think, if we get some clues as to what's happened regarding perhaps a possible lobby restart, which is being called for by Texas Tornado, perhaps Ayahuasca. But here's the thing, we are now past halfway point in the Grand Prix. Should we restart it now? We wouldn't be able to. The race would be called, wouldn't it? We're officially past the halfway point of the race. So now Soy Loco saying that the lobby is glitched as well. Peter DRH has done a mass ping. Oh, the Red Bull of Gab has lost it in the pit lane. He's perpendicular across the pit lane exit. And Peter's now missed his pit window. Several drivers typing in the Discord, at least 3 claiming that we've had lobby glitching. So we're back under green here. Fuse Rogue is taking the lead. I apologize. I'm just trying to get a word on if we're going to end up restarting this lobby or not. You have Moose losing spots here. Actually, what in the hell is happening? We got Jorday side by side with Fiber. Those two cars collecting there. Oh, very much close together now. Oh, Jesus, man. Plums is set the fastest lap. We're under 10 laps to go now. Fireball getting around Altered Fiber. I say getting around, he's pretty much put him in the fence. That car into the wall. So you look on Fire Up Flow getting side by side here. What in the hell is happening? These drivers are, I don't want to say losing their minds, but I mean, seen a lot of contact. We've got several calls for a lobby restart. Jaw setting fastest lap again. Side by side here is Gavin Jorday. I'm very sorry. I hate to not really cast this race, but I'm currently trying to discuss with Peter if we're within grounds of a lobby restart here. It seems like a lot of the glitches at hand have been caused by Fuse Rogue's car, which, remember at the start we said it was confusing because we saw him get away, and we saw it was Ayahuasca that really didn't get away well, and we didn't get the message saying that he had jumped the start. That's what was confusing. casual spinning about then. Gab 3/10 behind Jorday. Jorday 1/10.5 behind Moose. We're going to have 5 laps to go next time by. Whether this race stands or not is a totally different question. Pretty much once Plums crosses the line on that final lap, we're just going to end the cast, mainly because so much has happened here. We've got what I would believe several steward reports are to be happening. Whether this race even counts or not is going to be a separate question for the admin team to decide. I'm on that admin team, and I will say, at least in my view, as Jorday gets in the back of Moose there, I will say there has been an abundantly odd amount of strange things that have happened in the lobby tonight. Whether they are grounds for a restart or not is very much in question, considering what I do know. Texas Tornado and Ayahuasca complaining, or not complaining, but more or less explaining that somehow these glitches, affected their race. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I can't attest to what any other driver has experienced out there tonight. What I have seen is Fuse Rogue's car. If we kind of go along with him here, there were times when it did seem right glitchy, the car. That part is for sure. Well, I mean, on cast, we saw a couple times where his lag was definitely noticeable. And if it's notable on the broadcast end, then maybe it's noticeable in real life, but I don't know. That's the whole thing. What I do know is this: Gab within a couple of tenths here of Jorday. Jaw within a second of the Red Bull here, although not necessarily close enough to make anything happen. Well, here's Jorday within about 1/10.5 of Moose here, trying to go for turn 5. Three-tenths of a second here, not necessarily closing either. The DRS is not open for Jorday, which is slightly odd. Moose has picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Gab here within 0.8 of a second of Jorday. Jorday 0.5 of a second. Actually falling back again. The DRS button had the sound that it was activated, but none of these drivers, again, using that button. Let's see if they're within position here. DRS not activated. Huh. I heard the button go. Nothing on the side of the... What? Okay, now that something's happened with the intervals? I don't know. It's just so weird. You can see this happening. Manigos now apparently a second. This is just terrible. I don't even know what's happening. What in the hell is going on? Jordan within a couple of tenths of Moose here. Looks like we may have gotten our telemetry back up, or not our telemetry, but our leaderboard back to where it might be. Jordan and Moose battling for position here. Looks like Jordan's actually gotten around the Haas here. Yellow flag. We got a Williams something. I don't even know. What the hell is happening with the lobby, man? I do not know. I do not know what's happening. I mean, there's just so much going on here. So, according to this, who is our leader of the Grand Prix? According to this right now, Jaw is apparently being shown as the leader of the Grand Prix. You know that's not true. You got several drivers ahead, and now yellow flags for some reason. This is just weird. Okay, now Manigos is in the lead. That's not true. Contact there between Fire Up and Soy Loco, it seemed. At this point, I'm not even really sure who's crossing the line to win. I think it's Plums. I don't know. Fire Up Flow now third. What the? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I do not know what's going on. Fireworks are going off for a leader that has not crossed the line. Apparently Manigos? What is going on? Fired Up Float winning? No, Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the cast here. This does not look right. Thank you all for joining. Next week we head over to, where do we head to next week? Hopefully somewhere else. This has not gone well. Next week we head to Spa. That's great.